Ken's got fire and a wild hot take. Andrew's stats make the whole place shake. Laughing loud when your team goes down. Straub boys run this sports town. Show. Sundays, Mondays, we live for the fight. College game day and Thursday night. Rivals fall and the banter flies. We bleed our teams till the day we die. S-T-R-A-U-E. Two loud mouths and a love for the league. From Cleveland roots to the world we go. This is the Straub Bro Sports Show.
Welcome everybody to another edition of the Straub Bro Sports Show. Big Bro tapping in with Little Bro as always. Nothing gets you more hype than your own damn theme song. Let's go. Little Bro, how we living? How we doing?
We're doing good. I really don't got much for this week, if I'm being honest. We're not going to talk about them today, but been watching a lot of Guardians. And obviously, something we will talk about today. Watched the Cavs clinch a playoff spot last week. So, doing pretty good.
I'm disappointed in no weather report from you today. What the hell?
It's cold. Actually, it's actually warm. It's warm. It's been cold Saturday.
In 4. So, first of all, Mom is in the building. Shout out, Mom. We love you, Mom. Oos is in the building as well. Yeah, with the hair banging. Listen, I wasn't ready to go to start the show. I always point the wrong. I have to be now based on what that guy's going on. Pops is late. All good though. Yeah. Masters update. Rory killing it. Song's been on so long it restarted. That's on me. Yeah. We're full go here on the Straub Bro Sports Show. I thought we were talking Guardians, so we're not even on the same page on our lineup. Listen, man, just give me the ball and I'm going today. We'll make it happen. Absolutely. Go Cavs, go Guardians. As we said, Rory killed it today. The part 3 contest yesterday was amazing. We're going to talk a little bit of Masters next week. I wasn't prepared, and it's hard to strong arm the non-golf talker to talk golf, but it's all good. But Drew, one thing we are going to do today is we are going to put a bow. We are going to put a Straub Bro Sports Show finish on the NCAA tournament. We already know who won our bracket challenges. We already got that. But there was a little something, and I'm trying to think of how I want to articulate it. And sometimes I can't, and I know I do this obviously for a living, so I can do it. But sometimes no matter how I say it, showing you is better. I pray the volume on this is okay, because sometimes when we cross platform things from social media, yeah, just be prepared. But I got a little surprise for the people, Drew. I do love it. I will say, we have some things in common.
Straub boys run this sports town. Hey, Ken's got fire and a wild hot take.
Look for the big men to come through, too, for Michigan as well. And yes, I believe that the all-around best team in college basketball throughout the regular season will come through, and Michigan will win the NCAA tournament.
Hey, Andrew's stats make the whole place shake.
Ken, you've heard me. I am high. I've been high on this UCLA team all year. I love how well-rounded they are. I love that at certain moments they can get hot in the paint, at the three-point line, defensively. They look amazing. I think this UCLA team, I think it's their year. I think that they're going to come out, and I think they're going to win.
This is the Straub Bro Sports Show.
Only Drew, not only here on the Straub Bro Sports Show, did Little Bro nail, completely get correct his women's side of the bracket. Not completely correct, but you know what I mean. Not only did Bro nail the national championship side on that side, Big Bro brought it home on the men's side as well. So, Drew, A congratulatory pat on the back to both of us because, damn it, sometimes we got to rub it in when we get some stuff right. I'm sorry. I don't make up the rules. I mean, it's my show, so I do. But hey, it is what it is. And yes, we did call that. Now, did me or Straub win the Straub Bro Sports Show Bracket Challenge? No. Moving on.
We were close. I will spoil it. We were close.
We were close. Hey,
we were both close.
I'll take that. All right. So Drew, before we get rolling, and I actually was going to talk Guardian, so I might make you anyways. Put a bow on the NCAA tournament quickly for you.
Like, yeah, we're gonna.
Yep. Put a bow on the men's and women's tournaments. Put a bow on March Madness. Send it away. We showed up a little late to the birthday party. We still got something for you. Put a bow on it for the people. What were your biggest takeaways?
I think this one. This is the biggest takeaway. This absolute drubbing of a national championship to a team that has been drubbing teams in the national championship and all the way. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to harp on the games too much. I want to say, at least especially for the women's side, this was one of the most even March Madness and most balanced March Madness on the women's side that I've seen in a long time. We had double-digit seeds making it to the Sweet 16. We had a it happens. That's okay. It happens to the best of us.
We appreciate you joining the tournament anyways, but listen, I get it. I get it.
We had a team in Notre Dame that maybe didn't have a great regular season compared to other seasons, go super far and take out multiple top seeds. Obviously, we ended with all top seeds as in the tournament we normally do, and we kind of talked about how those top four were deserving of the top seeds. But at the end of the day, when we look at March Madness as a whole, right, there are two kind of areas that we tend to pay attention a lot to, and that's the first two rounds, and it's the Final Four in the national championship game, right? And so, as a women's March Madness, I think we are finally able to say that the excitement and the chaos that the men have always had for this longest time, it has finally shifted over to the women's, especially in the first two rounds where we see it in the men's, where you are now seeing teams that maybe on paper they don't look like they have a chance, and then you get to quarter four and you're going, wait a minute, this is a close game. This is a good one here. And so I think that's exactly why we watch March Madness on the men's side, and that's exactly why this women's game is growing as much as it is. And that's what I want to put a bow on in general is we now have two amazing tournaments to watch the entire length of, right? It's not just the end of the women's and then the entire men's. And I think it's the entirety of both.
So that was very well said. We did double-digit seeds. It wasn't the nice part about, and I'll wrap up on the men's side too, but the best part about the women's tournament this year, as hyped as we were on the Caitlin Clark train, we all knew LSU was really good. As much as we all knew UConn was going to roll. We all knew South Carolina was going to roll on those years when we kind of got to that Final Four and we're like, I mean, you got UConn, you got South Carolina, you had UCLA, like you had Texas. Like it was like, well, wait a minute. I don't know who can win on this side over here. Shout out to UCLA. I hate that we have to do this, but unfortunately with the way the games are set up, unless we were coming in here daily, so one day, we have to have a gap sometimes between. So you have, oh, and don't get me wrong, Coach Greg, I hate Michigan too, but I had to pick them. I hate that we had the gulf between the Final Four and the championship game. So I could have come in here and said this then, but I'm gonna say it now. We champion coaches on the college side. So you might know what I'm about to go off on. We do. because you're program builders, you're recruiters, you do everything. You're not just a professional coach who shows up and has you still do. There's more into it. Okay. I know the stakes are higher in the NFL and the stakes are higher in the NBA, but these guys don't really have to recruit. Agents, all that gets handled for them. Okay. So we praise our college coaches on both the football side, on the basketball side, hell, lacrosse, hockey, whatever it is. Okay. I specifically, you have too, but I specifically not only have championed just Dawn Staley, I have championed Gino Auriemma as one of, if not the greatest women's college basketball coach of all time. Okay. Sorry, Mom. So I'm trying to piece this, word this correctly. That shit he pulled after the South Carolina game was just nonsense. Okay. I don't care how long you were waiting. First of all, I coach. You've seen me. I don't know what the hell he's talking about this pregame handshake. If you guys are buddy and want to go up and talk, that's fine. I've seen plenty of coaches stand on their sidelines and never speak to the opposing coach until that postgame handshake. So first of all, I don't care. I don't know what he's talking about. Don't care. Get it out of here. Regardless, I don't care if she told you she was meeting you for breakfast and she didn't show up. When you lose the game, show some dignity, show some class. And all of this stuff we've championed about him is, and this is the reason it'll be championed, because you've done it for so long, you have the success, not just a little bit, you have sustained success. Which means act like you've been there before when you win, which he's very good at. You don't see him really get out of pocket too much when he wins. But when you lose, act like you've been there before. He's lost plenty. He's lost a bunch. He's lost championship games, Final Fours, whatever it is. Act like you've been there before, and don't just show respect, and I'm going to make it this. Don't just show respect to one of the other greats in the game. Show respect to the, how do I want to word this? The stature, the standard bearer for Black women coaching in women's college basketball too. There is sometimes a bigger picture with this, Gino, because of how it gets looked at. So not only did you just diss Dawn Staley, who first of all is your equal, as much as we champion him, Dawn Staley is great. So not only is she your equal, there's other things that come into play with this. And I wasn't happy with Gino Auriemma, and I give Dawn Staley all of the credit in the world because they stuck a microphone in her face 4.3 seconds after that happened, and all she literally did was go, that's not how we want to represent the game. I have all love for UConn and Gino Auriemma. She downplayed the situation like a professional. Then Gino goes into the press conference and cries and complains some more. I'm sorry, I had to speak on that. It bothered me a lot.
No, as it's a very understandable that it did. Obviously, when you were in the national spotlight, as long as Gino is,
we got reality though.
You were going to be judged, unfortunately, by sometimes your worst moments. Obviously, this was reconciled and squared away within the days after. Yes, it was a very poor sportsmanship. Obviously, Gino is not someone who we see typically act like this, and so I think that's why we're even more surprised, right? If this was a Dan, UConn head coach, not Hurley. Thank you. If this was a Dan Hurley, or if this was someone else that was more hot-headed, like a Brian Kelly or something like that, we wouldn't be surprised. We might be just as disappointed. But we wouldn't be as surprised, and I think that's what's adding to this as well. But I tend to give Gino the benefit of the doubt in some of these moments, right? This man's had a 30-plus year career. He is very much built up this women's game and is one of the kind of forefathers of the current game. And so, yeah. It's not great. It's not, it's not a good look for him. But like I said, I hope we're not all judged by our worst moments when we're, as candid in some of these as possible. And so I think this is something that he recognizes. I think this is something that he understands that he's going to learn from and work towards improving in terms of his attitude. And I don't think it's something that we should harp on as much going in. I think this should be, he got it. He got the thing. I think this is something we can move past.
And
I completely understand you bringing it up and wanting to talk about
it. And I like this comment that Pop's posted too. Everyone's allowed one. Well, Gino's kind of had a couple, but this is it. I'm done. I know it would have to be very severe to talk about job ramifications, but I'm done with this. Better late than never. Always, Big Dog. We appreciate Ray tapping in as always. And I forgot to do it. I got my Ani's Army shirt on today. Just wanted to give that a shout out. Obviously, I will run that later, but I just wanted to give it a shout out because I like to give them some love whenever we can. All right. So that's the women's side. We'll take that out. South Carolina beat down of UConn. Then we turn around. UCLA does that. We'll switch over to the men's side. I called it. You guys all said Michigan versus Arizona, the championship game. I said, hold on. Neither of these teams play close games. They blow teams out. So if one of them is going to take control, it's going to happen. Michigan took care of Arizona. We had a good game on the Illinois-UConn side.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to the national championship game. Close, a good game. But the Michigan Wolverines pull it out. Drew, as I said at the top, as I said in the last week, the weeks before, as I said in the reel, this Michigan team for me has just been that good. Head and shoulders above everyone else. So now that we're done with the tournament, can we look back and almost say that actually maybe wasn't as competitive as a tournament as we thought? Considering Michigan kind of bulldozed its way through at the end? I'm okay being wrong, but I'm asking the question.
I would just say being wrong because look at the last however many tournaments you want to look at. I mean, there's always a top seed that has stayed hot since the conference champion tourney and blown teams out mostly, right? I don't think we can look at the championship game or the run of the champion as the entire tournament, right? Because we look at this. We had pretty much the average amount of upsets that we had in the first round, as we do most years. We had multiple double-digit seeds, beat single-digit seed teams, and it was a fun tournament, right? You had buzzer beaters, you had comebacks. I do want to say really quickly, just to speak on Michigan's dominance. Not throughout the tournament up until the national championship game. I think they scored 90 points every game. But even in the national championship themselves, it was about 3/4 of the way through the first quarter, and I'm watching this game, and UConn is up, or maybe down by a little bit, right? And I thought to myself, man, UConn is playing the exact game they want to play. They're setting the tempo. They're moving the ball great. They're getting good shots off. They're playing pretty good defense. And Michigan looks unfazed by all of this. And that is when I went, Michigan is winning this game hands down. Because any other team comes up against this UConn team and has to play the way UConn played that game, where they controlled basically everything. UConn is taking that game. Because Dan Hurley had those guys set up perfectly to try to maneuver around this Michigan team and stop this Michigan offense from going. And they did. 69 points is not a lot for this Michigan team. This Michigan team is just so good in every aspect that this was the best outcome, right? Unless Michigan went a crazy low number from 3, right? And even their 3-point numbers were somewhat down in the tournament. UConn played an amazing game. It's just the fact that this Michigan team was so ready and so well balanced that they could take on. They could win when they have the tempo. They can win when they don't have the tempo. They can win when shots are falling. They can win when shots aren't falling. It's an amazing team that just culminated in such a great run that you just got to have you tip your caps to them, right? You beat an amazing Arizona team. You beat a UConn team that is the most tournament-hardened team you've ever seen. You beat an Alabama team that was scoring 80, 90 points a night. It's just an amazing team, and that is a tournament-winning team. They didn't get there by luck of the draw of who they faced. They beat great teams to win this national championship.
That is, first of all, your recap of the game there, I love. Listen, we got it. My favorite part is because I'm full of jokes. All I got is hot takes and jokes. Let's be real. Come on now. I got good hot takes sometimes, but I got hot takes and jokes. I'm going to fire these off. So there's no point of putting the funny comments up when I'm talking. It's much funnier to put them up when Drew's trying to be serious. And he absolutely hates when I do it.
No, it's worse when you click it, you put it up, and you just derail my entire point. And it's fine. It's fine.
I think it makes for amazing TV. Shout out because Mom's back in the house again. Mom can't decide which tablet or device she wants to watch us on, but I appreciate it. Thank you, Daniel. See, that's because Daniel is also a big brother, so he very much appreciates my nonsense. Yes, Ray. Dusty May is a name that will be only listen, baby. Dusty May, Dusty Rhodes, all the above. I don't get to sneak the Dusty Rhodes impression in often at all, if ever. So I'm gonna hammer that one home. Hey, and I like that. I appreciate that. We appreciate that. And that's one of the most physical basketball games I've watched in a long time. Like, period. And it was so enjoyable. I didn't care that it was low scoring. They were letting guys play, although any other game, that end of the half is a lot different because there's a foul on Michigan or there's a foul against Michigan. They let those guys play. So I have to give them all the love there for the referees for letting that happen. Also, you got to remember this. National championship games are always, especially in recent times, poor shooting games because they take those kids who play in basketball stadiums and they stick them in a football stadium. And I know if you're one of those people,
the depth.
If you're one of those people who's just like, well, shut up and play, then go away. We're not talking to you right now. But shooters will tell you this: there is a sight, a line of sight, a vision that they get used to in those courts, and you throw out that depth with how far back the walls are and then the seats go up, it becomes a completely different dynamic, and they're always historically bad shooting games too.
And I will say, it's amplified by the fact that we have moved to glass backboards, right? Because if you have a solid backboard, you can stare at the backboard. Obviously, the outside's going to affect you. But if you have a glass backboard, right, and you're seeing through it on a regular stadium, that the light reflectivity off of that and how you are perceiving that compared to a wide open stadium where there's a lot of a gap behind the backboard. You are absolutely right. It completely throws off your rhythm because you find a point on the backboard and you don't shoot towards there, but that's where your line of sight goes. And so you're absolutely right that messes up guys, especially college kids, their rhythm. Absolutely.
All right. So, anything else? I want to put the bow on it.
Bring on baseball.
Listen, every other team needs to get. Listen, Michigan showed you a blueprint. Okay. Everybody else talked about AJ DeVance, all Cameron Boozer, all these top guys. Michigan said, "I'm gonna go get some bigs that are good, and I'm gonna surround them by athletes and a couple shooters because I'm building a team." And they won. So as much as we can talk about it, and I know UConn has a very similar philosophy. I know Dan Hurley has gotten good recruits, but not the top upper echelon. But he puts a good team together, and that's what Michigan did. Hats off to Michigan. Last fucking time I'll say that. Sorry, Mom. Sorry.
I mean, listen, there's a reason why length is so, wanted and needed in basketball, right? There is so much more you can cover and hide when you have good length on your team that it absolutely you can have your stars, right, be maybe a little undersized if they can shoot the ball, if they can play good defense, if they can pass well. But your average guys, right, your 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kind of guys, you would rather have them be 6'8", 6'9", you know what I mean, 7 foot plus, rather than 6'4", 6'5", because that added length adds it closes down so much more on the defensive end. You get more rebounds, you block off, drives to the basket more. So no, you're absolutely right, where that length is such a crucial aspect in today's game because of how teams try to spread the floor. So that's another big reason why Michigan looks so good, is just the length that they have.
Yeah, absolutely, all over the floor. Yeah, I'm with Pops. Can we stop? I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. Moving.
A bunch of weirdos.
Moving. Listen, Oos is in too. Please stop. Just
weirdos.
Enough. No more Michigan. All right. I love it. I love it. I love it. We can do this, and I'm going to force you to actually change up a little bit and do both of them because, ladies and gentlemen, and I know we have some viewers tuning in from all over the place, so not everybody's up here. It's time to guard the land. If you are new to the show, I want to point out that I am one of the first people to coin that phrase. I don't get enough credit for it. Shout out to my man Terrell, who gives me some love on social media. The day that the Guardians changed their name to, or the former Cleveland Indians changed their name to the Cleveland Guardians, I said, yep, guard the land. I used to say guard the land when they were the Cleveland Indians too. So I will take some love for that. Guard the land. Copyrighted, Straub Sports Show exclusive. Drew, real quickly, I know you want to talk Cavs, and we're going to talk Cavs. We're going to jump in heavy on the Cavaliers and the rest of the NBA. But quickly, come on, give me some Guardians love. Give me some Guardians love. The boys have been not on fire, but they've been taking care of business. Hit the ball.
Listen, you can say it. You can say they've been on fire. They've been on fire because this team hasn't lost a series yet. They split one against Seattle, and they've won the last two against LA and Kansas City. It's April. It's cold. The bats aren't ready, big yet. So I'm not going to take really any batting averages unless they're really bad, like Kyle Manzardo's, into account. No, but the bats look good. The pitching looks a lot better than we thought it was going to be to start the year. All these kids are going 5-6 innings, 5+ strikeouts, very minimal runs. Hedges is having an amazing start to the season that I'm not sure how long that's going to last for, but we appreciate it while Bo is, again, struggling to start the year. Unfortunate for Arias, it sounds like he's missing 6 to 8 weeks with that hamstring after he actually started to figure it out at the plate. But thankfully, our logjam of middle infielders is starting to produce as well, as Juan Brito looks like he can hit the ball pretty well in the majors. Unfortunately, I do not want a ball hit in his general direction. When they ask Steve Hatteberg in what is that? The Athletics movie, Moneyball, where they ask what his biggest fear is, and it's a ball hit in his general direction. That is me, and my biggest fear is a ball hit in Juan Brito's general direction. But the kid looks good behind the good at bat, so he looks good. The team looks good, and yeah, Chase DeLauder obviously still doing amazingly. And Manzardo, if this doesn't turn around, I think hot take he needs to have a stint in the minors. We have the people to back him up at first base while he gets that right, because we need a guy like Manzardo to be hitting well come September. So
that's going to change quickly. They're scraping it together. Yeah, he's going to be out. The kids are running this team. The pitching is held up, like I said, and I'm not surprised about this. 2 years ago, when this team made an okay run, or a great run, and we're out front, it was Hedges who talked about it. We go in and we just want to win every series. We're not going to win every game. We want to win every series. I'm not surprised. That's the mentality this team has. I also have an issue with Austin Hedges being like one of our best hitters right now. It's not having the most hit with some of the most hit. It's not okay. But yeah, and I'm in trouble. I know. But like I said, the getting it together, Hosey's gonna hit. Hosey always starts cold. It's going to come together.
Yeah, I don't. He's going to hit 400 in May and be fine.
And we talked about it. Manzardo had so many up and down streaks last year. I'm not worried about it. This is the least of all of our teams. We're going to get to the next one, but this is the least of our Cleveland teams that I actually like, that I'm worried about. I have no doubts that this team will be able to get better. And what I'm looking for, to be honest with you, thank you, Max. When the kids get rolling even more, what of these veterans can we maybe piece together to move out? Another conversation for another day. I won't do that. Why? Because like Pop said,
it's April.
It's April.
Yeah, I think that's about it for me. We got a road trip starting in Atlanta, starting tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, and I think you're absolutely right. Like I said, I'm only concerned when a player is doing like really bad behind the plate or at the plate, and the only two I think are Manzardo and Naylor. Those are the two that I'm actually concerned about, because that's like really bad. That's like only a couple of hits in 20, 30 plus at bats. Bad. And so we'll see what we get from them. But like I said, it's April. It's cold. They faced two or three of the best pitching staffs in the league, and then had to come back to Cleveland and play a division rival in 40-degree weather. I'm not worried yet.
Unreal. Listen, but I got to have something to talk about. So I'm not just going to sit here and say, oh, everything's great. Everything's great. I'm going to critique some things. Now, we'll move that out of the way. All right. Because this is what we're really here. It's April, which means the baseball season, we're learning. The basketball season, we're starting to wrap up. So, Drew, let's take a look at the Eastern Conference. Now, before we do get down to all of the teams, we will talk about our Cleveland Cavaliers. They are there in fourth place. But your Detroit Pistons, the leader of the conference, have they pretty much been from the front running of the season, followed by Boston, followed by New York, then Cleveland, Atlanta, and Toronto wrap out as of right now. Your playoff teams, obviously the top four, have clinched their retrospective spots. 7 through 10 is up for grabs in terms of some seeding, possibly the Magic being able to sneak in. But the only team for sure right now locked into that play-in game are the Miami Heat. Drew, I got to call out you, and I got to call out some other people, because a couple weeks ago, the last time we had talked about the NBA, I asked you, and I asked everybody else, what team were they worried about maintaining a play-in berth? And just for the record, I had to get it up so I could, pause. I had to get this up on my phone so I could get this together. Detroit has clinched the conference, and Boston, New York, and Cleveland have clinched a playoff berth. Miami has clinched a play-in berth. However, back to my question. My Charlotte Hornets are still in, and they're locked into the play-in, Drew. You all hated on my Hornets. Ball is out there balling. Give me my love.
I mean, listen, I never said that this Hornets team was not going to make the playoffs, right? I just said this team has to keep and stay hot going in for me to consider them anything of a threat. They didn't really climb after that. They stayed at 9-10. They didn't jump Philly. They didn't jump Orlando. They didn't jump Toronto. They didn't jump Atlanta. Like, they stayed kind of where they were at. They had an impressive second half of the season to get them into the the playoffs and the play-in. Make the actual playoffs, right? Get through the play-in, and then I will say, hey, you got a shot, right? You've been playing well enough. Let's see what you got. I'm not dissing this team. It's fine.
I just wanted to. I had. Come on, give me some love. I had to just rub that in, that you and a lot of people thought that this team was going to fall out. So you weren't wrong for thinking that. But I think this team has come along. So let me ask you a different question, Drew.
Yeah.
Do you think the Cavaliers can beat New York in a best out of 7? You say yeah now. I would have never said yes until the trade.
I agree.
But things are different now.
No, I absolutely agree. And you know why? Because we have a Jalen Brunson now, and that's James Harden. We have someone who could bait contact. We have someone that could go to the foul line. That was our problem against New York. You would look at free throw disparities, and they would double or triple our free throw rate because Jalen Brunson would make us go get into foul trouble, and we didn't have anyone that would do that. Listen, I love Donovan Mitchell. Donovan Mitchell doesn't play for contact. He shoots to score. And so when you have a guy like James Harden who goes, they're starting to get a rhythm. Let me bait them into a foul and slow the game down and reset our offense, reset our defense. That's what James Harden is for, as well as a second option that can almost give you a triple-double most nights. And so, yes, in a 7-game series, absolutely, I think we can beat this New York team. Nate, you are haunted by the ghosts of Cleveland teams past, and I completely understand that. However, I think James Harden as an X factor is what makes me change my tune.
That's where I fully agree. Like I said, until this team got James Harden, no, the Knicks bully the absolute hell out of this team, like you basically mentioned. Donovan Mitchell, no, he can play in contact, but it's not his thing, like you said.
No.
That is a James Harden thing. It actually always has been, regardless of some of the knocks that he gets. This is the real question. Do I think Mobley can get consistently get those 19 boards? Whew, I don't know. However, the series with New York has always been a back and forth. Yes, we have lost those series, but these games have been close.
Yeah.
Come down to this crunch time, and this Cleveland team just doesn't have the option. Well, they do now. And because they have that option, I'm going to roll with that. It's very cut and dry for me. I wanted this team blown up before this trade happened. This was why. I did not think we were going to beat New York. I didn't think we were going to beat Boston. I think Detroit would have wiped the floor of us, and I was scared of Orlando and possibly Philly, depending on how they were playing. Now, come on. Because unless I play Boston, I think I have the best scorer on the floor. Yes, you're going to argue about Cade Cunningham and whoever else Detroit's going to throw at you. I got an MVP. I've got Donovan Mitchell. Boston, I don't know what Tatum is yet. So until then, I'll go punch for punch with you. New York, after Brunson, I get that, and I get what Ray is saying about Josh Hart. But after Jalen Brunson, we'll deal with Cat. Cat better go win him the series. What has he done one time in his career? I'm not worried. So now that that's there and that's a real 1-2 punch, bring it on. This is where we're supposed to be, though, for the record, Cavalier fans. You're not supposed to be, I don't know what this. No, you got James Harden. You got Donovan Mitchell. You put Evan Mobley in the third role like he is supposed to be. Go get to at least, you better be within a game of the Eastern Conference Eastern Conference Finals. And if you don't make the Eastern Conference Finals, it better damn well be because somebody had a Trae Young-like performance, a Dirk Nowitzki-like performance, where somebody just went off, was unstoppable, and knocked you out in a Game 7. Because other than that, why should this team not make the Eastern Conference Finals?
And you know what? That is a perfect transition into our new elements of the show.
Let's go, Straub.
We are adding polls to the chat. I'll show it right now. I just put the poll live. So as you can see, you type 1, 2, 3, or 4 in the chat on what you want to vote for. And the question is, how far do the Cavs go in the playoffs? I'm going to type myself in real quick. This is where I'm going to put us. I'm putting it in right now. Bang, 3. As you can see, it live updates there, and we get one in.
How far will the Cavaliers go? Can I vote in my own poll? I don't know. Okay, we'll figure that out. I voted. All right. Well, I don't know where it actually is, so that's fine. Notes. Yeah, no, I'll just be clicking here, running around crazy. That's all right. I like that though. Well done, Straub. We're gonna debut a question each show. We'll try to put it up early on in the show, so let it carry some votes. But yeah, as of right now, how far will the Cavaliers go? Conference finals getting some votes. First round and second. I love that. I appreciate that. We appreciate those votes. Well done on you, Straub. You had the audacity to think that I was going to be able to do that live during the show, and you even moved it, which I wouldn't have been able to do. So shout out to you, sir. Drew, just for the record, since we're throwing out all the top teams and we're talking about them, thank you for playing in the NBA. Milwaukee, Chicago, Brooklyn, Indiana, and Washington. Pack it up, go home, and continue to tank for the lottery.
I would say real quick, out of those teams, which ones do you expect to be in the playoffs next year?
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. That's probably one of the super, super easiest ones because
it doesn't have to be one. You can pick multiple.
I don't know what's going on with Milwaukee and Giannis. Chicago is a mess. Brooklyn is a mess. Washington is in on this Trae Young, Anthony Davis thing. Congratulations and good luck. Indiana. Indiana has a guy on their team who, if he doesn't get hurt, they might be celebrating a championship. So it's clear as day, Indiana. And man, I know that the NBA, let me be careful how I say this. I know the NBA will allow whichever team it wants to win the first pick in the draft. But if Indiana were to get it, good Lord, look out.
No, I think you're absolutely right. They bring Halliburton back. They have a core three after in the next season. They are going to get a top 5, top 10 pick in a very loaded class. And so yeah, I think it would be a strong 1 to Indiana. I think 2 would be Milwaukee, solely dependent on if Giannis stays. If Giannis stays, they're at 2. If they don't stay, they're almost below Chicago and Brooklyn.
That's the worst team in the NBA next year. If Giannis,
I agree. And I think Washington is a strong 3 because while yes, obviously we don't believe in Trae Young by himself, and we don't believe that Anthony Davis can stay healthy. And obviously it's the biggest what if Anthony Davis can stay healthy. If both of them stay healthy, that is a minimum play-in team, in my opinion.
I don't disagree with you. We'll switch over to the Western Conference. Who's our number 1 pick?
AJ DeBansta.
There you go. Done. Over with. Yeah.
The most complete and NBA ready player, in my opinion. The game for him, his offense is good in multiple ways. He can get to the free throw line very, very easily, and his motor and his engine on defense is very, very high. And I think that if you are looking to rebuild a franchise, I go AJ DeBansta. If, let's say, the Pacers get the number 1 overall pick, then I could see the other 2 being in play. But if it's a dumpster fire team, like let's say the Jazz, I think or the Kings, you go get AJ DeBansta.
100%. The kid's gonna need a year or 2. It's just absolutely it's outrageous what the skill set is and what the potential can be. Ray wasn't getting in without this one. I got to get this up on the screen.
It's there.
Ray, as he said, wants to give a shout out. Larry Bird, shout out to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, our kid over there. I think he's going to get drafted. I really do. It's going to be late, very late. He may even sign to a summer league team, but that kid's going to make a lot.
No, he's going to sign. I think he'll probably start in the G League. It's all about the issue is it's all about if the kid can play NBA defense, right? Like, listen, the kid can go around screens. The kid can shoot threes. The issue is when you're that big, you're getting put at the 3 or the 4 or the 5, and you got to play defense against guys in the 3, the 4, the 5. You're not a shooting guard, right? That could just shoot threes. It's not your position at that size. You're not quick enough. And so you got to be able to play great defense when you are that big.
Thank you. That's the only, but man, He reminds me so much of Jokic, though. Like literally, the kid reminds me so much of Jokic. Big man can shoot, get in the post, and not just get in the post when he needs or when he has to. When it's made for it. A little guy on me, devouring that in the post. That's what we need. Excuse me. Let's get over here to the Western Conference side. Not only did Oklahoma City lock up the number 1 seed in the conference, the number 1 seed overall in the NBA, San Antonio Spurs and the Los Angeles Lakers. The why, that is for their division. They have locked up their divisions. The Nuggets, Rockets, Timberwolves, all locked into a playoff spot. They need to decide some things within the division. However, and much love to you, Sterling. We appreciate you for tapping in with us as well.
Vote in
the poll for us. Phoenix, LA, the Clippers, Portland, and Golden State all locked into the play-in right now. Nowhere for them to go. New Orleans, Memphis, Dallas, Sacramento, Utah. Thanks for playing in the NBA. We'll talk to you next year. We'll answer our conversation after that. Little bit more defined here in the Western Conference. Here's the real question. Is the gauntlet that is about to be the Western Conference playoffs going to end up costing somebody who should have an easy run against most of the teams in the Western Conference or in the Eastern Conference?
I mean, yeah, right. You have teams like San Antonio and Denver that I think take most games in the Eastern Conference, right? But you got to face a Lakers team. Well, that with that maybe without Luka, but still is a dangerous team in terms of experience. Houston is the same exact way. Minnesota can give you the most intense and heart-stopping 7-game series in anyone. So no, this is a gauntlet of a top 6, right? Where the East is more of a top 4. But I still think that regardless, I think that each conference has a team or two that they're going to be able to kind of lean on and say, it's going to be seen very early. This is going to be the team that's going to represent us in the conference, right? Whether it's Oklahoma City or San Antonio or Denver on this side, and then whether that's Boston or Detroit or Cleveland or New York on the other side.
Let me ask you this question. They moved themselves into the 4 seed. They won their division. However, with the injuries to Luka and the injuries to Austin Reeves, do LeBron and the Lakers have any chance? Because you didn't mention them. You said Oklahoma City, San Antonio, and Denver, maybe Houston. You skipped right over LA. Rightfully so. A lot of people are. Do LeBron and the Lakers have a chance?
They do. The issue is, right, you're going up against Houston round 1. That is your opponent. And Houston is a team that I think is more playoff ready than a Luka-less Lakers, right? With a Luka on this Lakers team, I give this Lakers team the advantage. Just because I've seen Luka do this like a Kevin Durant, but Luka is more in his prime. Now you have a LeBron that's more of a facilitator in his later years, let's be completely honest, where KD is still that, give me the ball, I'm going to put this in the back of the net because we're down 2 and we need a 3. And so if they were to get past Houston and look good, right, not escape Houston, if they were to win in 6 or less, I would say, okay, you're playing OKC, but you got the momentum.
6?
It's a 7-game series, right?
Rockets, you out of pocket. Lakers in 4.
What I'm saying is, if Lakers win in 6 or less games, I'll give them a chance against OKC. But if they have to go, well, no, it's 5 games. I'm sorry, it is a 5-game series first round. That's my bad. If they win in 4 or less, if they win in 3 or 4, I'll go, okay, they got a shot to potentially take OKC out if OKC just falls apart, or maybe they something like that. But if they have to go 5 against Houston, neither team, I think, has a chance against OKC.
I agree. San Antonio, I'm just going to put it how I feel flat out about this. Unless Kevin Durant can tap into something that we've only seen.
We haven't seen.
Yes, he's scoring, but he's not carrying the way that he used to. Unless we can see that, and possibly if Anthony Edwards was to make the next leap that everybody said he was going to be, the next Michael Jordan and all of that, possibly this is San Antonio and Oklahoma City. We'll see what they can come up with, because that's what I got there. Those are the two teams, and if they don't meet, so be it. One of them, whoever does it, will go on, and I'm not gonna lie, probably just dog walk whoever comes out of the Eastern Conference. I'm not. We just got to be real about this. It doesn't. Yes, it could be a competitive series, but unless we get something out of like we got from Indiana and Tyrese Halliburton last year, unless we get a superstar just absolutely ascending into greatness, I don't see how either San Antonio or Oklahoma City don't win the championship.
I was gonna say, yeah. Two kind of final questions. One, does any of the play-in teams have a chance if they make it through to beat the 1 or 2?
I'm sorry, one more time.
I said, do any of the play-in teams, in your opinion, have a chance if they make it through to beat the 1 and 2?
I don't believe in Phoenix. This is not even a good reincarnation of what that team has been for the past couple of years. Don't believe in there. Portland, sorry, love me some Dame time and all, but no. The two teams that I would worry about are the two teams with MVPs and guys who have won chips before. That is Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers, because when Kawhi wants to be the best player on the court, not only can he be the best player on the court, but he'll single-handedly win games. The other person is Steph Curry. The problem for Golden State is I just don't think Golden State has enough pieces that can play to the highest level to actually get them rolling. And Kawhi is going to have to basically do what he did in the damn All-Star game and what he did for Toronto, for LA. And he don't have as much help with Toronto or in LA that he did in Toronto. So I would say Clippers and Warriors, but realistically, no.
Okay. And then finally, same question as the East side. Eliminated teams, which one next year do you think has the best chance of making it into the playoffs? I got my answer.
Can I address some? I'll address something else in a second. Dallas. I mean, Dallas has the real potential. We've seen what it is with Cooper Flag, and I love it. They've basically just allowed Kyrie to take a rest year. I'm good with that. So that's the team right there. New Orleans, I'm done. I'm so done with New Orleans. It's ridiculous. I'm tired of the potential. I'm tired of the what ifs and what could be's there. Sacramento is a dumpster fire. Utah is a dumpster fire. I do like Markkanen, but those aren't good teams. Memphis, also, because you have Ja, and that's one of the things I wanted to address real quick. Listen, I love LeBron. I got the bobblehead right here. That's my guy.
Lord.
Brought me a chip. That's a jackass statement, man. I don't care that you don't like the hotels in Memphis. What you could potentially... LeBron isn't just a regular dude talking. And this is why I want to say this. LeBron isn't just somebody. LeBron's a mover. LeBron's a businessman. He's a mogul. He's a billion-dollar business in himself. If LeBron James says, I don't like a basketball team here, there's going to be people calling Adam Silver going, well, we should move it. Don't do that to the city of Memphis. Don't do that to an historic city and a city that deserves a basketball team. That's all I'm going to say. I'm sorry.
No, well, one, he also said Minnesota. And so for the people that are saying that it was racially targeted or kind of just trying to pull at straws there, can a man just say he doesn't like to go to a city? Can a man just say he don't like Memphis? I will say, when he clarified, he also said, man, I don't like going home, and I'm from there, which also curbed a lot of rumors of him coming back, which then people tried to spin and go, oh, no, he's just trying to cover his tracks. I just think that there comes a point where I just laugh at the amount of pull that an athlete has. Because listen, I love sports. We have the show for sports. These are humans that, if we're being honest, if we're talking about the contributions of, their job, it's very minimal in the world aspect, but we are hanging on every word they say and, criticizing every single word that comes out of their mouth. man just don't like to travel to Memphis. Man just isn't a fan of Memphis and just wants to, loves LA and just, is cool in Miami. Like, can we just let the man have an opinion on something without just
First of all,
tearing him down?
No, because you're LeBron.
No, okay. No. All right. Sounds good.
And whenever, unless he's pretending to read a book, on the walk into a game. If you've never seen that viral video, please go search it.
People who watch the show have had to see that.
It's amazing. He's always on the first page. LeBron knows when he says things, it carries weight. That's why he talks and he throws his words around when he wants to, the way he does. So I 100% believe the thing about Cleveland and him saying that he doesn't like to come here, although a lot of guys, regardless of sport, will tell you not just going home, going where you are from is one of the worst trips ever. Yes. Because the amount of people who bug you and bother you and want things from you and tickets and accommodations. And if you're LeBron, that's already triple, and it's probably 7 times that when you get into Cleveland. So I get that. But no, you don't get to just absolutely not. And real quick.
Fair enough.
I get it because I don't like Cleveland sometimes either. All good, LeBron.
All right. I'm assuming we're done with the segment.
I'm done. So you want to wrap up?
I will say, because StreamYard's a little weird, and when we type in the chat, it counts twice. My vote counted twice. We are all even. Can you make the deciding vote?
Where do I think the Cleveland Cavaliers will go? First round, 20%. Conference semis, 20%. Conference finals, 40%. In the finals,
I put 20%. Conference finals. It counted twice. So technically everything's even.
So I'm the tiebreaker vote. I believe the Cleveland
How far we go? That's
I believe the Cleveland Cavaliers will get to the conference finals.
Okay. So that 40% is accurate. That's the winner of the poll there. First poll ever.
Appreciate
finalized, hidden,
done,
over, moving on.
Skibbity 6-7.
I'm actually gonna leave now because I can't ever.
You love me. All right, bro. So that means we talked about our March Madness, we talked about our Guardians, we talked about our Cavaliers. To me, there's time for one last thing. We know what that is, but hang tight. I got my Ani's Army shirt on today, so I want to give a shout out. So sit back, give me about 45 seconds of your time, and we'll get back in, and me and Straub will finish up the show on some foot.
Today I want to talk to you about Ani's Army Foundation. Started by Mark and Lynn Meyer to honor their daughter Annika, Ani's Army Foundation was formed to raise money for the research of medulloblastoma tumors and other pediatric cancers, while making a positive impact on the community and helping those families in need. Here on the website, anisarmy.org, you can follow Ani's story, a story of strength and the love that her family has with her and she has with them as she fights this battle. Here on the website, if you can, please donate via Venmo, credit card, PayPal, cash, or check. Any donation is loved and any donation is appreciated. Thank you.
So as we said, big shout out to Mark. He runs Ani's Army Foundation. They were doing some fun stuff this past weekend too for Easter as well. So shout out to them and shout out to Ani as well. Always love from the Straub Bro Sports Show. Straubo, bring us home, big dog.
Yes, final segment of the show. We're back this weekend, EPL. And Ken, I know you love it when I do this. I upped the table. We have officially hit the back stretch of the season. We are back from the final international break. And except for two teams, we have 7 games left in the season. As you can see, Arsenal hold a 9-point advantage over Manchester City, but Manchester City have a game in hand, so that could be reduced to 6 points, which is just a 2-point swing. Below them sit Ken Manchester United at 55. It's definitely within striking distance of Manchester City. I think we're a little out of the realm of possibility of Arsenal, but Ken can dream. Immediately below Aston Villa with 54 points. Liverpool at 49, which, as was announced today, is a Champions League spot now with the 5th place. So we have one there. And then directly below, my Chelsea at 6th, hoping that the international break has cured any sort of animosity and downpour form that was happening. So that wraps up the top. And then at the bottom for your relegation race, Wolves and Burnley all but relegated unless a miracle of a late season surge happens. And then we have about a 4-team race for the last relegation spot. Burnley holding it right now at 29 points. I'm going to skip that team right above them for a minute. Nottingham Forest at 32 and Leeds at 33. Ken, what is the possibility and probability that you are going to give that a previous and honestly current Giants of the Premier League gets relegated in Tottenham, sitting 1 point above relegation right now at 30 points?
This is a very real internal struggle if you don't just love the badge and the team that you pull for. Clearly, Drew on the Chelsea side, and obviously, as he mentioned, me with Manchester United. But as somebody who loves the Premier League and as somebody who loves the game, period, flat out, end of story, it stops right there. Love this game. This is a tough one because every bit of a Manchester United fan who is brothers to a Chelsea fan wants to see Spurs go down. Spurs have to play in the championship, and we finally be done forever with the ending of Spursing. It'll be cemented in legacy forever as a verb. To Spurs is to absolutely blow it and lose and get relegated from the championship to the championship. But the lover of the EPL in me, that's a tough one. I don't want to see them or West Ham be relegated. Sorry, Nottingham Forest. I'll let you slide. Give me Leeds. Put them back there and get the hell rid of them anyways. But to see, even Nottingham Forest, but to see one of these two teams, and I know I give love to Colin all the time, my guy at work who's a big West Ham fan. Hell, they're fighting in their own household because he's a Spurs fan. His father is he's a West Ham fan. His father's a Spurs fan, and his brother's a Wolves fan. So they're all miserable at the bottom. But one of those two teams, West Ham, who plays at freaking Wembley, and Spurs with one of those two giants, and I know Spurs will get that love more than West Ham, but one of these two Premier League staples, we're going to lose one of them.
No, I think you're absolutely right. And this is kind of reminiscent of like the mid to late 2000s where we saw a lot of these giants like Leeds, like Brighton, or Jesus, that was like Bolton. These teams that for decades were mainstays in the Premier League. QPR is another one. Just free fall sometimes. And you don't want to see that with a Tottenham or a West Ham because you want the best fan base. You want the most passionate and the loudest and the biggest fan bases to stay because that's what makes the Prem so great is the atmospheres. But if we're being completely honest, Tottenham did this to themselves, right? Yes, they weren't great last year, right? They were 14th, 13th, 14th in the table. They won a trophy. They won a trophy with Ange Postecoglou. The manager that, regardless of the situation, was always a positive of the team, was always pushing and wanting the best for the players and for the fans, and you let him go because either he was too critical of the board or you thought that your first trophy in decades wasn't good enough for you. And this is your repercussions, right? This endless cycle of managers now to replace someone that really wanted success there. And it's kind of what you get. I can't talk much because my team does the exact same thing, but it is a microcosm of the bigger thing of this Tottenham team is ran like a business, and they are very, very strict with their business.
Not a good
And
business.
and well, they do it with the margins, right? And if you are a team or if you are a manager that knows what he needs to rebuild and is not going to get it from them, you're not going to go to a team like Tottenham. So while I want Tottenham and West Ham to stay up, if at least West Ham made an effort to, get out of this. They were very, very low for a very long time, and they're scraping their way back. Tottenham kind of let this happen to themselves, and now they're freaking out. So
Yeah, that's 100%. You did this to yourself. You ran through top manager after top manager after top manager. You have allowed big players to leave with no real reinvestment. Where Charleston is saving your ass every other game, and is the only reason that you're not fully relegated. So yeah, this is 100% Spurs' fault. As for West Ham, I will say this would be amazing. They have been in that relegation zone, like you said, from damn near day one. So for them to make it out would be something. And I think unfortunately for them, if they make it to safety, the story will not be about them making it to safety. It will immediately be trumped by Spurs going down. And if Spurs stays up and West Ham goes down, the story will still be that Spurs saved themselves. So West Ham's going to get shafted here regardless. I just hope it's with some Premier League money involved.
Absolutely. And like I said, we got 7 games left. So listen, that whole bottom or that whole 15 through 18 could go a million different ways in the last thing. Fun fact, by the way, obviously 21 points available. The only number that a team cannot get is 20.
Let's go. Your Andrew stat of the day. You did mention the top of the table. I didn't get to weigh in on this. Arsenal, he looks like you're going to get your title. Congratulations.
Yeah, they'll be out of everything else soon.
For me, and I know you didn't, and I'm cool with it. We crack jokes, especially on this footy side. And when you said, yeah, not close enough to Arsenal, but can dream. No. There's no dreaming. Okay, there is no dreaming. With the way this season started, to be damn near locked into a Champions League spot now, I'm good. We'll deal with next year when we get there. We'll retool. We'll regroup. We'll come back. We'll maybe try to fight for a title. But this right here, from somebody who's watched this not go well for I don't know how many years now, no, we're good. We are A-okay. I'm trying to just fight off Villa for the last couple games because I would like to qualify third and not fourth because I'm petty and I want to be above Villa. You, sir, I am worried about because you are closing in. You're very close to Liverpool. You're right there on that Champions League spot. Do you think you can catch them?
I think that speaks for everyone in the top 6. I think the next 2 games are going to be very telling, right? So, because Arsenal, you need to win the next 2. Give yourself the breathing room of, all right, 5 games to go and we got a 6-point advantage, right? You obviously have to keep winning, but you got to win these first 2 out of the break. City, you definitely have to win the first 2 out of the break to even stay with Arsenal in these next couple of games. And then the bottom 4, or the next 4, what's going to happen, right? Manchester United looking good, but have shown signs of they can lose it, right? They can get outplayed. They can't just throw numbers at it and win. And then the last 3 going into international break were very, very poor form. Aston Villa, Liverpool, and Chelsea were all awful. That's why I'm still in a Champions League race, because Villa and Liverpool were so bad as well as I was. So those next 2 games for those 3 are going to be very telling. Unfortunately, I think Chelsea has one, if not the most hardest remaining back half of the schedule. And so we will see what this kind of comes from. But it's very, very big. I think I have a chance. I think Liverpool have looked bad enough throughout the year that they can definitely drop points. And Villa, the wheels not falling off, but the wheels are shaking right now. They feel like Nottingham Forest of last year, where they started so strong and so just determined, and they just ran out of gas.
Man,
and I know they have cannot remember his name, Unai Emery. They have Unai Emery that can probably right the ship for long enough to kind of coast them into it, but it's very easy for them to drop a couple points and be where I'm at in 2-3 games.
Man, this is why you're in, bro. I bring the fire, you bring the smart. That is a beautiful take. This Aston Villa team absolutely is just like that Nottingham Forest team, where you just run out of steam, and there's only so much magic in the hat, man. There's only so many rabbits and scarves that you can pull. Eventually, it gets empty, and they've kind of run out. But there's, like you said, still points to be had, so it is possible. But trending, yeah, bigger trends to look at. It does seem that way. I worried with your roller coaster that Liverpool's roller coaster has just been a little less bumpy lately. But we know the rule here on the Straub Sports Show. I only root against you on very, very certain times, and that is when we play each other and when you could possibly jump me in the table. So as long as you keep your ass out of third place and you stay away from me, I'll take you in the Champions League. You absolutely know that.
Absolutely. And looking into this weekend, we have a pretty good slate.
Ooh, baby.
Everton traveled to Brentford in a upper middle table matchup.
You better get it together, Oos.
Brentford sitting at 7 and Everton sitting at, I can look really quickly at the thing, 8. That's what I thought. That'll be a good matchup to kind of potentially, right, if one of these teams wins this week and then can win next week, can potentially jump themselves into a Europa/Conference League position. And so this will be one to look out for both of them. That's a big matchup to kind of set yourself up potentially Europe, which for both teams would be an incredible season, especially how kind of low both teams ended last year. Newcastle travel to Selhurst Park, travel on Crystal Palace. Newcastle bumped from the Champions League, so now they only got the Premier League to play. Same with Crystal Palace. Both teams on the downturn, unfortunately. So this one's going to be kind of one where if you win, it makes you feel good. It'd be a good end of the season, kind of kick off to potentially start a run to get yourself back mid-table. But neither of these teams really playing for much, not in relegation, not battling for a Europe spot.
I agree. I would like to see, here's going to be the problem for Newcastle. Are they going to be able to invest? I mean, it's already rumored that I'm coming in for Bruno. We're going to have the Bruno and Bruno experience along with the Straub Sports Show. But can they reinvest the money? They have a lot, but can they reinvest it correctly? Crystal Palace, good luck.
Yeah, they're losing a lot again, and that's going to be a tough one. Manchester City travel to Stamford Bridge to take on Chelsea. This is, again, the start of a rough back half of the schedule for Chelsea. But I know it's not the fortress it once was, but Chelsea at home is always a tough place to play. Manchester City, desperate to stay alive now that they're out of the Champions League. The only trophy that they really probably want is the Prem. So we'll see there. Chelsea, massive defensive struggles in the games before. That's going to be a test to see if things have changed. It's going to be a big test to see if Liam Rosenwa has actually set his team up for success defensively and won't just stick to his system. I think lessons have been learned that, yes, I understand the vision. The vision cannot be what's going on right now because you're hemorrhaging points by trying to just force your system right now. So hopefully changes are made there. We will see. And finally, Leeds travels to Old Trafford to play Ken and Manchester United. Ken, this is a game that obviously, statistically, you should win. However, Leeds looking pretty okay past couple games, got some decent wins, got some good results. Always a team that invokes, some scrappiness and some bad blood. can't take this one lightly, but should come out of this with 3 points?
I hate this team. Obviously not my own. I'm talking about obviously. Yeah, I'm obviously talking about Leeds. I'm very excited for this game because Leeds wants to play on the front foot. Come on. Please bring that shit to Old Trafford and see what's going to happen. And I know, watch, I get cocky for 1 week and I'll eat it on the result. But I'll take the chance here. I absolutely want to run this team out the door, right back out of Old Trafford. I think it should be a fun game. Obviously, clean sheet wise, we don't do great. So this, I mean, this got 3-1 written all over it. But I would love a lopsided. And demand a lopsided Manchester United victory, period. End of story, flat out.
Hey, that's very fair. You are going up against Daniel Farke in Leeds, a manager that I would not be surprised if he muddies this game entirely,
Yes,
knowing
sir.
how well on the front foot you get. And so that is my one concern for you, is that this Leeds team just drudges the game, grinds it to a halt, and makes you earn that 3 points. So we will see kind of how that shakes out there. And that is it.
Absolutely. A nice short, we both appreciate this, but a nice short and sweet episode of the Straub Bro Sports Show. Straub, we do very bad at this. We do horrible at this. We're coming in next week. What day?
That is a great question.
I never answered you, did I?
No, I don't think you did. Let's plan for Thursday.
Okay.
And obviously that will change because, of course, it will. Some unforeseen thing that we figure out will be the problem. And we'll go, hey, actually Wednesday. But let's plan for Thursday, everybody.
I love that. Absolutely. We will definitely plan for Thursday. We're done with March Madness. So when we roll into Thursday, heavy Guardians, heavy on the NBA, and we're gonna talk hockey. No, I don't have it in me to talk.
I sent you the list. We were good. We got the breakdown.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I know.
List, but it's all good. But either way, I appreciate everybody, not just for tapping in with us today and the likes and the shares and the follows and all that, but joining in on the poll as well. But bro, throw some shout outs.
You took my whole shtick. That's what I say at the end. Anyways, I will say next week EPL review from the weekend and a look onto the next weekend, NBA playoff review. And then if Ken wants to talk some guards, I am always down to talk guards in early to mid-April. Also, some breaking news. I found out halfway through the show that Ken is going to love. Coming back for her senior year, Hannah Hidalgo is returning to Notre Dame. Another year of that amazing basketball player and another year of Ken being ungodly annoying talking about his women's college basketball team. So wanted to break the news there.
It was rumored, nothing was official. She wants another crack at UConn and everybody else. Let's go, Hannah. Lock it in. Year 4. Get her some help. Marcus Freeman, give her some damn NIL money so we can get some help for her as well. Let's get another top star in there to help Hannah out. Absolutely, Nady. Go Irish. That's how we end the show. It gets no better than that. Shout out to everybody. As I said, Oos is in the building. Ray, much love as always. Moms, Pops, we appreciate you. Max can yell at me. That's cool too. I love her anyways. Nate, big on that. I don't know what. Big on the Irish. Let's get it. I'm all over the place. What a terrible way. Drew, I love you, bro. We'll talk about the stuff that we need to talk about. I'll answer your questions that I'm supposed to answer for you. But that'll do it for us here on the Straub Bro Sports Show. For Little Bro, I am Big Bro. We will see you next week. And please remember to always go ahead, bro.
Love yours.
Ken's got fire and a wild heart. is Sports Town. STRAUB, two loud mouths and a love for the league. From Cleveland roots to the world we go. This is the Straub Bro Sports Show. This is the Straub Bro Sports Show. Sundays, Mondays, we live for the fight. College game day and Thursday night. Rivals fall and the banter flies. We bleed our teams till the day we die.